and call this meeting to order. I've asked Councilman Smith to lead us in the prayer and pledge. Please join.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for today. We ask you to be with our government, the United States government, through the problems we're going through. Lord, we ask you to lead us to do the right thing tonight and be with the city and make it greater. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, thank you.
Lamar,
Here.
Shropshire,
Here.
Bradshaw, here. Rashears,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Trammell, Smith.
Here.
Okay. All right, petitions from the audience. I don't see either of our petitions. Jeremy, is there anybody in the hallway out there? Okay, and we're gonna move on. Again, tonight we've got a lot of people in here for one or two items that on the agenda fell closer to the end. So we're gonna get them out of the way, get them so they can get on their way and move on. So we're gonna go to the addendum item 1, which is discussion and possible action to approve the mayor to sign a proclamation declaring September 17th through the 23rd, 2025 to be Constitution Week.
Motion.
We have a motion from Choya,
I'll second.
second from Tyler Brown. I'm going to invite Miss Donna up here. She presented this. She is with the Daughters of the Constitution. So,
For the Daughters of the American Revolution.
I'm sorry.
That's
I was
all
reading
right.
that. Yes, Daughters of the
But-
American Revolution.
And as a result, it's kind of important that we remember the U.S. Constitution. And these ladies who are with me, we have Neva Nicholson, Delena Nichols, and Caroline Burleson. And I will say this, she is our vice regent, so she's the main gal tonight. And Caroline is our Green Country District Director. And so we've had a good year, and we appreciate you doing this because we feel like it's important. And I'm Donna Talley. I think everybody in the world knows me. I've been around for several years, so, and I see some of my former students, which is good.
Miss
I'm
Donna.
glad that you're nice, upstanding citizens. That makes it easy.
I will tell you that when we knew you were coming, Hannah has been singing a Halloween song.
Oh, really?
So,
Take me back to
Oh, yes, oh,
sorry.
yes.
They're excited to see
I'm notorious
that,
for the Halloween song. Okay. I'll have to teach it to y'all sometime, okay? All right, so.
okay. So I'd like to read this, or would
Sure
would you like to?
No, you go.
I
right
would
ahead.
love to
We'd
read it.
for you.
Yes, ma'am. Constitution Week Proclamation. Whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 38th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore I, Zach Doyle, by virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Pryor in the state of Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed on this, the 16th day of September, the year of our Lord, 2025.
Thank you. Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would would you mind coming down here so we can have
I would love to.
And I'll let you sign that if you want to.
Yep.
Okay. Please don't do it. Okay. You know, we gotta do a photo op. Take a day.
Okay. All right, come on here with that.
All right. We on the left hand. Okay, thank you very much.
Smile. There we go.
You're on candid camera.
Right, all right, we'll get that stamped and
Okay.
there's
Okay.
that.
Okay, who does that for me?
We'll do that.
You'll
Anna
do
will
that.
get it stamped and attested.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. And
Just
thank
done.
you very
Thank you
much.
so much. My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Now we'll vote.
Yep.
Do I need to give you this to the state?
You call for the vote.
Thank you so much.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Absolutely.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
I'm gonna go back. I do see one of our petitions came. So Robert, we're gonna give you just a few minutes. 5. Do I need to set the timer or are we good for 5?
Well, Mayor, it's on the consent agenda.
He was one of the petitions. Would you rather just wait to the,
It don't matter.
let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll come back. All right. Thank you. All right, at this point, we're gonna go to the city attorney's report. We're gonna enter into public hearing. Do I have a motion to enter into public hearing?
I make the motion to enter public hearing.
Okay. Do we want to waive that reading?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a motion to enter public hearing and waive the reading for zoning change AR investments. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. We're in public hearing. Do we have anybody that would love to speak on that? I think we're good. Okay. Being there is none, do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
Motion. I'll
Second.
I have a motion from Brashears and a second from Choya to exit public hearing. Did I not get that right? It's kind of in stereo, so we'll call it good. All right,
motion and second was,
Choya.
And me.
All right. We need to vote on that. Okay, call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Item B, discussion and possible action regarding the zoning change for A&R investments from agricultural AG to residential 70, RS 70, legal as read in item 5A.
Motion.
I have a motion from Choya,
Second.
second from Brashears. Discussion?
Yes. I know we have the legal description on this, but again, please, which piece of property is this? Is this Gaither and Old Highway 20?
Correct.
The new one, yes.
The new one?
Well, we did phase one, this will be phase two.
Okay, okay. Same,
It's on the corner, it's the acreage we went for.
Original.
to begin with.
okay, thank you.
When they were originally going to do the CAR, so.
Right.
Okay. No further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Item C, do you have a motion to enter into public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion from Brashears,
Second?
second from Bradshaw. Call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay. This is final plat for A&R Investments, is requesting approval of the final plat for the property to be zoned residential 70, legal as read in item 5A. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak on that?
It's just, I believe everybody's seen it, right, correct?
Yep.
So it's just the final plat,
Tyler,
those
do you need to see that or
7
anything?
additional lots, would you like to see it?
No,
Okay.
I can keep up.
All right.
All right.
I drive by it every day, I know what it is.
Okay. Given there is none other, do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
Motion.
Motion from Rushiers,
I'll second.
second from Choya. You can call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Amar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Rushiers.
Yes.
Item D, discussion and possible action regarding the final plat for A&R Investments, legal as written, item 5A.
Make the motion.
A motion from Rushiers,
Second.
second from Bradshaw. Discussion? Okay, given there is none, call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Amar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Item E, second reading, discussion and possible approval of an ordinance amending 10-16-1A regarding the composition of the Planning Commission. Note, I'm going to read that, a vote of the majority of the members of the council shall be required for final passage of this ordinance pursuant to 11-102. If passed, this ordinance shall be published once in a newspaper of general circulation in the city of Pryor Creek, and shall not take effect until 30 days after such publication pursuant to Section 20 and 65 of the Charter of the City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma.
Motion.
I have a motion, so I have a second.
I'll second.
Motion from Choi and a second from Rushiers.
Amar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Item F, second reading, discussion and possible approval of an ordinance amending 10-16-1E regarding the quorum of the Planning Commission. Note, a vote of the majority of all of the members of the council shall be required for the final passage of this ordinance pursuant to 11-102. If passed, this ordinance shall be published once in a newspaper of general circulation in the city of Pryor Creek and shall not take effect until 30 days after such publication pursuant to Section 20 and 65 of the Charter of the City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma.
Motion.
A motion from Rushiers,
I'll second.
second from Choya. Discussion? Okay, call for the vote.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Amar,
Yes.
Okay, second reading and discussion, second reading, discussion and possible approval of an ordinance changing and amending zoning classification from agricultural to residential 70, RS 70 of the property described as follows. Do I have a motion for that and a
I'll
waiver?
make a motion and waive the reading.
Okay,
I'll second.
I have a motion and a waiving from, second from Brown. Discussion? Given none, we'll call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Amar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Yes. All right, thank you. And again, I make the note that a majority of all the members of the council shall be required for final passage, and that needs to be published once in a newspaper of general circulation pursuant to Section 20 and 65 of the Charter. Okay. We're going to go to the mayor's report for our next presentation. That would be item A, presentation of TSET Healthy Living
Mayor.
Grant. Yes,
He has a question about the
I know you're
zoning.
gonna be here all night, but a lot of people by tomorrow.
yep,
All right,
we'll do it tomorrow.
thank you guys, thank you.
Okay. Presentation of TSET Healthy Living Grant options.
Hi, Harper. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Harper Meehan, and I work at Mays County Hope under the TSET Impact Network. We were formerly the Healthy Living Program. Last week in the paper, I saw that the mayor had been tasked at going to look for options for playground equipment for Bobby Buck Park. So I reached out to him saying, There are some grant opportunities opening that would be able to pay for this instead of having to take it out of your guys' general fund. So I will explain 2 grant opportunities that are going to be available, but first I would like to remind you guys how TSET was created. So created in the year 2000, TSET is an endowment trust funded by a percentage of payments from the 1998 Master Settlement Agreement between 46 states and the tobacco industry. Funds are invested by a board of investors, and only the earnings from those investments are used by a board of directors to support efforts to improve the health of Oklahomans. So one of the ways that these earnings are used is through grant opportunities, such as my grant that I work under, but they all address one or more of the following: tobacco cessation, increased physical activity, and increased nutrition access. There are multiple grants that TSET offer throughout the year, each having a slightly different criteria during the application process. So there are 2 grants, and the first grant that will be opening first is the TSET Built Environment Grant. This grant, you guys are eligible as a public entity for projects directly related to one of TSET's constitutional areas of focus, which may include the following: tobacco prevention or cessation of high-risk groups, programs designed to maintain or improve the health of Oklahomans, programs to enhance the provisions of health care services to Oklahomans, and programs designed to enhance the health and well-being of senior adults. So there are going to be 2 built environment grants opening September 23rd of this year. One of those would be a construction grant for physical activity, so such as buying physical activity equipment and putting it in, or designing and a planning grant for physical activity. So that would be if you had an engineered plan, those funds could engineer this. So some of the details for that, it is a competitive application process based on your proposal. So TSET Board of Directors will look directly at what you are planning on doing, and they will make the decision off of that. It is a reimbursement grant, meaning the city will have to pay the cost up front, but monthly there will be a program manager who will report what your invoices were, and you will get reimbursed. TSET just asks that you have up to 6 months of waiting, but more than likely with my grant it never takes more than 2 months normally. And the city must have a tobacco-free and wellness policy in place at the time of the application. I have looked at your guys' tobacco-free policy, and so far it looks like it has everything it needs, but my grant is able to check that for you guys, and if there are changes that need to be made, we can come and present that to you guys. And then for the wellness policy, I've talked with the mayor. Right now, you guys do not have one in place. If you guys do vote that you want to move forward with applying for one of these, him and I would work together to get that written, and then you guys would approve it as the council. So the request for applications has not been released as of today when I left my office, but there are 2 more criteria that I would like to share with you guys that are based off of the nutrition one that closed on August 26th. So for this grant, there should be no match required for the city of Pryor. So populations under 10,000, you do not have to have a match for this grant. And also, a percentage of the grant award can be used to pay for a grant manager for this. So if the city would like to hire somebody, they can, or it can pay a portion of somebody's salary at the city based on the time of work they have to do to complete this. So I listed some of examples of potential projects that could be done based off of our discussion with Bobby Buck Park. So that would include playground equipment, benches, trail improvements, lighting, shade, fitness trail equipment. Anything that could be done at that park that would enhance physical activity, this money can be used for. Do you guys have any questions about that grant before I go on to the next one?
Would bathrooms fit into that?
I am not sure, and based off of what we anticipate the funding to be, that would not cover a bathroom.
If we're awarded a grant, is there a time limit before you could reapply for another grant?
So for this one, you just will have to complete this project before you can apply for this same grant.
Okay.
But you could have 2 different TSET grants. So you could have this one and as well as the next one.
Okay.
So the next grant is the TSET Healthy Incentive Grant for Communities. The City of Pryor actually has received this grant in previous years. It used to be, though, if you had received it and maxed out your funding, you guys were not able to apply. Oh, I missed my little spot. So the TSET Healthy Incentive Grant is for communities to help municipalities adopt and implement best and promising practices for tobacco-free environments, access to healthy food, and physical activity opportunities in an effort to improve the health and quality of life for residents. So this one will have 2 application cycles. The first one will be opening October 24th and closing November 21st of this year, and then it will also reopen again March 2nd and close the 30th. So if you guys apply for the first one, don't get it, you can apply again, or if for some reason you guys don't apply for the first one, you can apply in the second round. So in FY26, they have reopened all applications. So any community who has maxed out funding is now able to reapply again, which is what makes you guys eligible. So these grants are first come, first serve until the available funding runs out. So it is important that you guys apply early since all communities in Oklahoma are eligible to apply for this grant. This is non-competitive, so as long as you guys meet the requirements, you guys will receive it as long as your application is complete. However, like I said before, if the funding runs out because all the people before got there before you, you guys will have to wait till the next cycle. The level of award is based on the population from your latest census data, and so as you guys are a population over 4,300, you guys are eligible up to $100,000. So this grant requires no match like the other one, and it is not reimbursable. So meaning you guys will get the check from TSET for what you guys apply for, and you do not have to pay the money out of pocket first. This one is similar, and it also needs a wellness policy, and it will ask that from that wellness policy you have a wellness committee, and you will have to have 2 meetings with an agenda, minutes, and sign-in sheet, and the 2 meetings have been with a year applying. So since there's not one in place yet, those 2 meetings would have to happen between the time that wellness policy is passed and the time you apply. This one also has some required ordinances, which include the tobacco-free city-owned property, youth access to tobacco, and a resolution ordinance that support and promote farmers markets, community gardens, and or food pantries. I haven't looked into that one if you guys have that yet, but if you guys choose to run with this one, we can get that in place if we need it. And then there is also a QR code right there. If you scan that, you can sign up for alerts straight from TSET to get information on all the grants that become available. And there are smaller grants, so you guys could look at them, and if you're like, I think the city should apply for this, you guys can bring it up yourself. But we are, at my job, we are trying to make this known and come to you guys with all the facts and give it to you guys.
Did you say you can do both of these grants at once for different things?
Yes, so that is one thing for TSET is the same, you cannot use the exact same project with the same 2 grants. So you could, if awarded both of them, you could not do the same piece of playground equipment on both. So it would be you could either apply for one project with the first one and then see if you get it and then apply in the second round for the other one, or you could do 2 different projects based off of that.
Are we allowed to have discussion? Are we allowed to have discussion over this presentation?
Yeah, I think so. The presentation, I think that implies discussion.
So if we did one for playground equipment, what if we did the other one for the Grand Building? Quality of life of residents, access to healthy foods, physical activity opportunities, if it's $100,000, we're up to.
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are, but
So
I appreciate you coming here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very happy to share this. We're really passionate about getting this money into you guys. I mean, if this is what it's for, this is your guys' money going back to the communities. Oklahoma is the only one who uses their funds like this that they receive from the settlement.
So I want to just let everybody know while we're talking about that. I did find a wellness policy, but it's in draft form. And I haven't found anything that's signed and done, and that was from previous administration time, 2022, 2021. So I told Harper today I have a draft of one, and it looks pretty thorough, but it needs to be reviewed before we can say we have it. So I was going to send that to her, let her look at it, and we'll go over that afterwards. But we did talk about some of the things that we could do in addition to just that one piece of playground, we can go a little bit bigger, and do a little bit more if we could get that. And that would actually, I think, work out good for the goals of what we have for that side of town.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
What is an example, since you've already looked at the draft, what is this wellness policy? Is it applied to city employees, or is it for the city population, or what is a wellness policy that we have to have a meeting about in minutes?
So it would apply to city employees. It would include stuff like promoting walking meetings if you could, or in the break room only having, healthy food options. But there's so many different requirements that can be added, like examples from TSET, that we have one at my job, and it doesn't really inhibit, it doesn't do too much. But I can get you a sample or example of what they look like before if you're interested.
Okay, but we have to have this in place before we apply.
For both of these, yes, you do.
And that window is October, coming up between October and November, so we'll need to do that quickly.
Yes, so I had mentioned that if you guys would like this, I could be ready to present it at your next council meeting on October 7th.
We would
Okay.
also need to create a committee, it sounds like.
Well, in
Throw some
accordance
meetings.
with their guidelines, yeah.
Throw some meetings together pretty quick, sounds like.
Yeah, and it's not just you guys, I mean, it's all city employees. They do look for representation from multiple entities. So somebody from the police department, somebody from the fire department, they would want it to be a comprehensive meeting.
Okay, and then the other one was, I know that, thank you very much for researching all this, and I know it's a great asset, and I'm looking forward to us working with you about this. I assume that since you put on for the first grant, you specifically mentioned Wabi Buck Park, so I'm assuming that somebody had talked to you about
That was what we
using this for
had,
this. Okay,
yes.
that's great. I'm 100% for that, more than 100%. However, we do need to keep in mind for the future that if we do all this and get all these improvements, if people are gonna come and do all this stuff and be busy in a park, they're gonna need a bathroom. So we need to take that into consideration in the future. Now, the second grant, you specifically mentioned Bobby Buck Park on the first grant. What was this other grant kind of talked about for the kitchen or the Graham Community Building Project, or?
We did not mention that yesterday. You could use that grant to pay for Bobby Buck Park, but you cannot use TSET dollars to pay for the exact same.
Right, so
Yes.
it could be used for the community
Yes,
building.
it could be.
Kitchen, things of that nature.
Well,
Okay.
could you use this grant to put a restroom at Bobby Buck Park?
The communities one,
The second one.
if you could get that done for less than $100,000, but that's a council decision, and looking at the exact,
We have to make it meet the parameters of
yes.
access to healthy foods, physical activity opportunities, right?
But I believe, I would have to double check on bathrooms, but I can get a better answer for that.
Okay.
Because that comes under health.
Yes, and people would be more inclined to be there if they have access to a bathroom.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any more questions?
Thank you so much.
And my card is on there, so if you have any questions and would like to email me, or if you're just interested in hearing more example projects, I would be more than happy to share more information with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harper. All right. Item B, discussion and possible action to authorize mayor to submit a TSET Healthy Living Grant application.
I make a motion that we authorize the mayor to work on these grants quickly.
Okay,
Second.
Can you, as part of this, can you throw an ad hoc committee together without our approval? With other city leaders for,
As long as it doesn't have a true voting.
yeah, but just to meet the requirements of this?
so
With
one
city
of the
employees.
things, on that note, kind of one of the things that we talked about, Harper, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
That's loud and clear, correct me if I'm wrong. One of the things that we talked about with Harper and Marty yesterday was, a good example, Terry, you came to the meeting at the Larimores about the other bathrooms. Those kind of meetings where we have community involvement, community buy-in from banking, construction, citizens, those kind of meetings would work. We just have to take roll of who's there.
You have to have
those meetings that he's talking about, as long as you, keep track of who's there, that will count. Because this is promoting wellness.
But we need to create an agenda for them.
And it can be as simple, it can be very, very simple. It does not have to look like.
Okay.
Did we not, please correct me if I'm wrong, did we not talk about maybe the park board? If we were discussing these in the park board as an agenda item, that would qualify.
Okay.
We just have to have that agenda, we have to sign them all in, and then that would work. So, park board.
Just use the park board.
Awesome. But we need to be discussing this.
Yes.
Yes.
So we can do that.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion from Lamar, second was
I got it.
Shropshire. Okay, we call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay. Item C, discussion and possible action regarding the collective bargaining agreement updates between the City of Pryor Creek and the Local 3567 of the International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO-CLC for the 25-26 fiscal year with corrected pay plan as shown in the packet.
So move.
We have a motion from Lamar,
Second.
second from Brashears. Do we have any discussion?
The only discussion I had was, there were still 2 pay plans at the back of that. Was it the handwritten?
You got the handwritten one revised,
Yes,
and they were aware of it. They've seen it. They're actually meeting tonight to give their official
Okay.
approval.
Blessing on the handwritten changes.
But it's the handwritten version that we're approving?
Yes,
yes.
That's what I meant.
yes,
Yes.
sorry.
Thank you.
We'll make it pretty after.
No. It had both versions in there, and just for the vote, I just want to make sure what we're
So-
approving is the handwritten.
Just so everybody's aware of what that was, if you weren't. The annual salary amounts were correct, but every one of the hourly ones were off. So that was corrected and we got that fixed, so. Further discussion? We'll call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Item E, discussion and possible action regarding the promotion of Corporal Shatswell to the rank of sergeant, moving from range K, step 2 to range range L, step 2, effective September 27th, 2025.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion from Lamar and a second from Choya. Discussion.
These are vacancies created. This one, Sergeant Mike Moore, when he retired, this position has been there since then. It's time to get that chain of command back in place. So this is one of them. The corporal position, there was 2 corporals that had left. So it's to backfill those. But one of them was Gann and one of them was Gunner.
Further discussion? Okay.
Congratulations.
We'll call for the vote.
Okay.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Congratulations.
Yes.
All right, discussion, item F, discussion and possible action regarding,
Did we forget D?
Yeah, you skipped.
Skipped it.
how did I skip? I am so sorry.
It's okay.
I circle them as we go through, and apparently I circled it before I got there. I apologize. Discussion and, what's that?
He's just chopped liver, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, they're good. All right, discussion and possible action regarding the promotion of Officer Consing to the rank of corporal, moving from range J, step 2 to range K, step 2, effective September 27th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Once again, this is one of those positions that's created by one of them leaving. Like I said, there's 2 corporal positions on the street. Constant's proved himself, and so he's ready to step into that role.
Further discussion? My apologies for skipping your item. Don't take it personal. Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Congratulations. All right. Item F, now we're rolling. Discussion and possible action regarding the attached order for disposition of unclaimed property, case number CV 2544, and authorization for the police department to carry out the actions listed in Exhibits A through D. 1, Pryor Creek Police Department requests council review and approval of the disposition of unclaimed property. In accordance with the Oklahoma statutes, property has been categorized into the following exhibits. A, items to be auctioned by Chubb's Auction Company. B, cash deposited into the police department's drug forfeiture account, number 969655555. C, items designated for destruction. And D, bicycles to be donated to One Bike 918 local nonprofit organization.
Motion.
I have a motion from Choya,
Second.
second from Brown.
Smith.
Was it Smith? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Smith. Discussion? Given none, we'll call for the vote.
Thank you.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
All right, item G, discussion and possible action to hire Tegan Bird as a B operator with the Pryor Creek Street Department, Range C, Step 1, effective September 29th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
A motion from Choya and a second from Brashears. Discussion?
Just for clarity, this is not a general fund hire.
Nope, street. Okay, call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll go to item 3, the consent agenda. Do we have any that we'd like to pull off?
8. X through 00.
Can we go NN? Leave the 00 on, that's street.
Oh, sorry, NN. What?
Okay. So X through NN and H. Are there any further? If none, call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Thank you. Item H, I do want to note that there's an apparent Scrivener's error on that. Approved mayor to waive the Graham Building rental fee and deposit on December 1st through the 8th, not the 7th, 2025 for Santa's Workshop.
Motion.
I have a motion from Brown and a second from Smith.
Mr. Taylor's here. Love to hear from him. My only real thought for bringing this off.
Before I get up there, you have a leak right here, it's been dripping on me, sir.
Uh-oh.
It's sitting over there.
Awesome.
Hey, it's moved.
I don't know if Mr. Lamar passed these out earlier.
Yes, sir.
But that's my insurance liability, and I'm gonna have to get with you next week, probably Zach and maybe Chase. They've advised me, since it's getting so big, to pull out an insurance just for the event, an event insurance. So she's drawing that up for me now, and when I get it, we'll go over it, and if there's anything that you need to change, you know, like the amount or anything
We can
like
do
that. But, you know, it's getting so big, we wanna cover everybody on that, so that's all I have. We've had great support.
How much the insurance policy is?
I'll pay it, it's gonna be about $400 for the event. Yeah. Our insurance keeps going up every year, because there's always something happening with the weirdos out there that try to be Santa. And you can see on this, we got to carry abuse and molestation rider on our insurance now. And there's this, every year it's something different. Every year after Christmas, there's somebody getting arrested somewhere for not doing the right thing. But
That's bad.
I don't know if your insurance, if it's covered with what I'm about to tell you, but since you're not charging us anything to do this, it might be something for you to look into. I have no problem with us waiving it, but I would like to see you apply through the hotel motel to have those fees paid by the hotel motel, to where the city isn't losing any actual rental fees. It's coming in and it's paid by the hotel motel funds.
Okay.
I don't think it's a complicated process from what Mr. Majors explained whenever he was here before, but I told him whenever he came in then that,
So get the amount that it would cost to have the event for, have the room for the 8 days?
Yeah, we can.
yeah,
I mean,
and
we can
I,
talk
and,
about that.
right, and I talked to Dean about that before, and I've brought it up multiple times on the council. I would like to see us stop waiving that and start sending people to hotel motel to have that fee paid by them,
Okay.
where the city's not actually losing any true money on it, and we're using those hotel motel funds back into the city. So, don't take offense, because it's not against
No,
you.
no, I
It's
understand.
just a way for the city to be made whole on it.
It's, and I understand, I'm getting it a little bit longer now, because it takes a while to get everything set up, and, so, I mean, with my donations and stuff, if we have to pay a little bit, I mean, I'll.
If
comes
the
to
grant
that.
doesn't go through, I'm all for waiving it for
Yeah.
you, but I would like to see us
Okay.
research that
I'll
option.
do that. Let's visit on that.
That's no problem. I'll tell you, we did inventory, we got a locker, a storage unit out here, and we did inventory Friday, we've got over 1,500 toys.
Wow.
Give out to the kids, it's been donated this year.
Wonderful.
So, I'll tell you, community's been really great.
Robert,
Do you have
very
an
generous.
accurate number on how many people attended last year?
We figured there's over 1,000 came through. We had over 900 kids we know. Trey tried to count, my photographer, he took right at, was it 504 photos? And, there wasn't very many of them, just one kid.
One of the things we can do for you, and we can do it probably when you come by, is we can pull up the Placer AI data, and it'll give us a very accurate number of how many people were there. That's service.
Well, we got contacted by the owner of Boomerang, thanked us for having the event, and said that was their busiest day they've ever had in sales since they've been open. So, but, it's, like I said, I wanted to do this for the last 10 years. I've thought about this, and now it's happened, and it's growing faster than that. I wanted it to grow every year, but it's, word's out. We're doing something good. And we had people come from 4 different states last year. Matter of fact, one of the kids, ladies, she's seen it on Facebook from Dallas, Texas. Her and her sister drove up here with their 8 grandkids, and one of their grandkids won a bicycle.
Wow.
So,
That's great. Well, we definitely thank you.
yeah.
The hotel motel grant exists for projects just like this, and just because the city owns the building doesn't mean that we shouldn't be taking advantage of it.
Okay.
That's kind of my view on it.
I know Dean, so I'll get with him. I'll give him a holler.
Yeah, so I mean, on this one,
Take no action till we
yeah,
hear
we
from
can
them.
take no action on this.
We
You have
we also applied this year we're now our own nonprofit. Santa's Christmas Village is now, I'm still with the Arts Humanities, they help me, but the money don't funnel through them anymore. We're our own nonprofit organization and stuff.
You had that motion.
Have you looked at the Oklahoma Arts Council?
Yeah, to no
grant?
action.
It's 5,000,
Oh, wow.
but you have to have it applied 60 days ahead of time.
Applied for a quick trip grant since there's Shodo, and I get money from every deal, and they said that there was nothing there wasn't a store close to Pryor, and I'm like, okay, Shodo.
Well, if you want, I can connect you with the arts grant. Like I said, that's through the state, but that's another, it's a $5,000.
Okay. Well, this year, being our 5th year, we're going to go, in total for the 5 years, we're getting close to $65,000 worth of prizes, I guess we've given away to the kids in 5 years.
Outstanding.
Still got to get those reindeer.
That's
Got
what
one more year. He
Yeah.
said he's going to get some next year. So.
All right, good deal.
And he's going to have us on the list. So,
The kids really enjoyed that.
they do. Yeah, he's got some nice reindeer too. They're really pretty. So, but I invite y'all to come out on the 6th, just see what we're doing. I know Terry was there last year and seen it, and he was blown away how many we did. And it was, the last hour I had to ask my nephew to go take off the Grinch outfit and help me pick the kids up, put them on my lap, because I was afraid it was going to drop on my arms. You know how your legs get noodles. My arms were noodles picking up those kids.
Yep.
So I just appreciate y'all letting me do this here in my hometown. And just something we want to give back to the kids. You know, like, we tell them we don't know what I tell everybody that comes and helps, don't know what these kids' home life is. And some of these kids coming here tonight, this is going to be the only thing they get for Christmas. And if there's a kid crying that he wants a teddy bear and he's 4 years old, give him a teddy bear. I don't care. You know, that's what we got it for. We buy extra and everything. We buy for 600 kids. And then we buy for another 150 for the kids under 2 years old to give stuff. So we're buying for 750 kids. And it was all out. What? We had 30, 45 minutes left in it last year, and everything was gone. Well, they still got to come in and take photos with Santa and stuff.
I think it's great. I'm glad that you're doing it.
Wonderful, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Our national Santa Claus organization, we got to turn in a deal for volunteer hours. And the president called me here probably about May, and he said, I just wanted to go over your volunteer hours. And I said, yes. And he said, I'm not doubting what you're saying, but, you know, and then I told him everything we do and everything. So Tracy and I got recognized as the top in the nation for volunteer hours last year, with over 350 volunteer hours to put this all together.
Yep.
So, awesome. It's a lot of work. I take about a month off, then about February 1st I start looking for stuff. 'Cause, you know, you're buying for 600 kids, you gotta find a place that has it, know for everything. Sorry about the blood on my shirt. I guess I cut my finger. Didn't know
I
it.
thought it was from the drip.
Yeah.
Not even worried about it.
Well, but anyway, thank you all. Appreciate it.
If you run into problems, I'm happy to waive it. Just, I think that I don't think you'll have any issues, but.
Well,
Okay.
we'll set a time where we can
All right. I'll get a hold of you next week once you
get you those
that.
numbers, get you
All in,
Dean work.
to no action.
No action.
All right, no problem.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you all.
All right, you want to vote on that?
Yes. Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Shears.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're moving right along. Item X, approve general budget fund 201 for the 25-26 fiscal year.
Motion.
We have a motion from Brown,
Second?
second from Bradshaw. Discussion?
Sure. Mr. Jeff, are you able to talk? I've been gone, so I'm late to the game. But I was asking Zach today about some of our more firm numbers, like what we might put in unallocated reserves, or what our legally budgetable amount might be.
We are approximately legally budget, well, about a little over 9.1 million.
A little lower than last year. I think we were at 9.22 last year.
Lower, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's probably a little bit lower, but now, there are still some things we've been working on, so I'll know probably more within a week or so. Probably right, Hannah? We're still working on getting some stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I don't think it'll go down. It may go up a little bit. Okay. But our revenues are 8.7. So we should budget more than 8.7. And the rest should go in unallocated.
Okay.
Might as well. I've got 1,000 of them, I'm gonna try and hold you one or two. Did you finally get what you wanted from access to Excel?
Not quite yet where they're supposed to be getting me a laptop, is that correct?
So, yeah, let me give everybody the update on this. We have a tremendous amount of security that we have to watch in terms of our network, our VPN, our access, and things like that. So we've been working very diligently with Bart and Chris from Fit Fiber and Active to find out the best way. I don't think Jeff wants to come up to City Hall and sit at a desk every time he works on, I don't think Kat wants him to do that. We don't need Jeff to be up here, not that we wouldn't gladly take you, but the idea is how do we do that securely? Not in any way, shape, or form are we saying that Jeff would cause a problem, but should in any way, shape, or form access be, listen, it's 2025, we gotta be extra careful. The best way to do that is to get Jeff a laptop that is locked down to that function only, that he can be mobile, he can do what he wants, and then he can have access to those things. That was a discussion we had, probably middle of last week, trying to figure that out. Bart and Chris with Fit are trying to figure the best path to go in the machine to get so that we can get that in his hands. That's best we can give you right now.
And that's fine if that's how if we want to do it that way, that's fine. I mean, I'm not really concerned, I'll carry whatever I need to do it. It's just that, as long as I can have the access without compromising anything.
Mayor, if it's all right, the laptop I was issued, I don't use it. I'd be glad to give it.
Well, that was ironically the first thing I threw up was the Chromebooks.
Oh, yeah, that would.
I said, we got some extra Chromebooks, and Bart said, those won't work.
That won't get it.
So, they're on it.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, thank you for the.
Did we ever come up with a figure? We lost several months last year. Did we ever find them, or is it
Well,
something we can't find them, or what?
Okay, here's what happened. Basically, we had some errors within the system in various months early in the year, February, March, April, those months, basically. And so, instead of trying to fix each month, month by month, which, is doable, but it's easier to figure out what the balance needs to be at the end of the month, or it should be, or at the end of the year, and fix at one time. So I understand that you may not get month financial statements that for each particular month, but we're trying to get a good year-end balance. Because I could fix March, but that would take some time, and then you'd have to make sure it's all right, and then April, and then and so on and so on. But I find it just to be easier to say, okay, we've blown past this. It really doesn't matter what we did in March versus April. We just need to know what we did for the year. And so that's what we're trying to get is good year-end numbers at the end of the year. And
Well,
so, yeah.
Let me ask you this, is our budget for this year higher or lower than last year
Well, the budget,
that we could budget for?
well, the budgetable amount, like I said, is around 9.1, a little over probably. So your budgetable amount last year was what?
9.2.
9.2? Okay. So it's close to the same, a little less. I don't know what the actual budget numbers look like. I think they've made some changes even through today, so I don't know about that. But again, I've stressed that we really should try to keep our actual budget numbers, our actual expenses, down to the revenue amount, which is about 8.7.
So basically you're saying we probably, with everything we're talking about, we should try to do this budget this year about the same as we did last year.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. We don't want to add new positions, I wouldn't think.
Did you say don't add new positions?
Don't add new positions, no. Just keep the status quo as it ended at June 30th. Keep it the same, keep going. Perhaps if somebody leaves, you can replace them. But we don't want to increase our expenditures. We want to keep everything as low as possible for another year, at least, so that we can try to build up fund balance, and hopefully revenues increase some. They'll increase hopefully each year a little bit, and eventually we'll get to the point where we can do more stuff within the general fund.
How much of our general fund can we budget again?
90%
Of what our,
revenues plus 100% of our carryover.
okay. So our income tax last year, or our sales tax, I'm sorry. Our sales tax last year was the highest we've ever had
Right.
at 11.2.
Of course, you only get not less than half of it stays in the general fund.
That's, so we get to budget off of the 11.2 number, or we get to budget off of what's appropriated?
Only what's appropriated to the general fund.
Okay, so we get that plus use tax and some other things.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to compute it going up, but our legally budgetable amount going down, when I don't think we touched unallocated reserves last year. I think we did pretty good to do that.
Yeah, that stayed 360.
Well, we had basically our revenues exceeded by 100,000. Now, of course, we have payables and whatnot, and that's some of the things that I'm still looking at, because we have some numbers on the balance sheet that that doesn't make sense, that I'm still kind of going through.
Okay.
Right. So like I said, I think it'll go up, because the numbers that I'm looking at show negative, that probably aren't supposed to be there, but I am working through it.
Okay.
Okay. So I think it might go up, but you kind of broke even for the most part. So your fund carryover didn't change much.
Okay.
And I don't know about all your revenues. I think went up some. Our payables at the end of the year and our accrued payroll can affect how much our carryover is, and that's a timing issue. So,
Did the 900,000 we put in the budget last year, did we spend it or not?
the 900.
We only put three.
You only,
We put 365.
right.
But I think I saw that we spent $250 out of unallocated
Yeah, we
reserves.
spent 250, and I didn't track what that went for, but
Yeah.
the general of that was the 368. that we
And I am
did.
being a little conservative when I'm giving you some of these numbers, because I
That's
don't want to tell you a number that's too high and then come back and say, oh, sorry.
I get that. When people ask me how are revenues going up, I mean, we made $300,000 on sales tax. We made
Right, you made 300,000 on sales tax.
We made some more in
but
use tax, and so everything was up, and then if you're being conservative, I get that. It's hard to say everything's going up and then that number's going down when we didn't touch our unallocated reserves.
But part of it, a lot of what I'm looking at is the carryover, because I'm not sure what they.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not holding you to it. I'm just trying to ask the questions to understand better.
Like I said, if the revenues are 8.7 million, then basically we shouldn't budget more than that regardless.
Yeah.
So the carryover at that point is.
So you're saying, did I hear you correctly, that our unallocated reserves at the end of the year was 300,000, and we only spent like $250 out of that?
That was in the budget from your last year's budget. You had a $300,000 number in there, and somehow $250 was charged to it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I wasn't too concerned about that $250 to dig that deep into it, but for the most part, the goal was to leave that alone.
So that carryover or leftover of 300,000 from last year is still going to be figured into this year's new budget
that's
allocated reserves too.
See, you put that in the budget to say that if my budget is 9.2 and I've budgeted 8.9, I have 300,000 in the unallocated, right? Now, if my revenues were actually 8.7 and I spent 8.6, I'm 100,000 to the good for that year. Now, then whatever cash you have left over, so you basically start over. That unallocated is just a number in case you need to use it. It doesn't really represent anything that's on your financial statements other than excess budget that you're not planning on spending. And so then what we do is when we take the revenues, we take, okay, how much cash do you have? What are your liabilities at the end of the year? And that's basically your net carryover for the year. And that is what we use to fill in the rest of the budget. So then we take our estimated budget, add the carryover to get, say, 9.1. And then if we budget, let's say, 8.6, whatever, then we were going to have 500,000 to go into that unallocated. Because that's the difference between total and what we're planning on spending. So that 300,000, I guess you could say kind of gets rolled over, but it sort of just gets pushed into the reserve, and then we the carryover, and then we figure out how much is left for the budget next year. So you can't actually say, I'm taking this 300,000 and putting it over here, because it's all part of what we're calculating with the excess, the reserves, the carryover.
We're really not figuring also, you say we budget 90% of the money coming in, right?
Right.
Okay. And nobody ever says anything about the other 10% that's just out there floating around.
Well, yeah, you know, that's why if you actually take the 10% of your revenues, you're down to about 8 million, and the 90%. So in that case, you know, that's why we're saying we can budget 8.7. So we're using some of that, hoping that the revenues from this year will at least equal last year, because we're actually budgeting more than 90% to spend. We're using some of that reserve money to fill in the budget for the current year. But if our revenues match our expenditures, then the carryover theoretically doesn't change. It can some, but yeah.
I mean, I think there's a decent chance that our unallocated reserves from carryover is going to go up, because we
Yeah,
budgeted
no.
8.8 last year and we only spent 8.5.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping it will.
So hopefully we've put some money back
Right.
in there.
So
once
we
we-
didn't overspend like people were thinking we did.
According to my calculations, based upon my numbers that I have at the moment, I have that you had a net surplus of about 114,000.
Net surplus of about 114,000.
Yes.
So that
Okay.
will add to the 300,000 that we had.
Theoretically, yes, but we'll see.
And then when we do our final budget, would you recommend it be advisable that we take the difference between the 90% budgetable allowance, but allowable budget by law, and the amount of what this new fixed budget is going to be, and put that all in unallocated reserves?
Yes.
Highly stress that.
Yes.
And Mayor, are you on board with that too?
Yeah, so just since we're on the 201, general government, 02201, you know, we talk about how much we spend. This is just for public knowledge. The financial statements we got for 12 months ending June 30th, we only expended 58.9% of that budget from the general fund. So again, a lot of good work goes into that, a lot of hard work, but the idea was we did everything in our power to not touch that unallocated amount, to protect those funds, and going forward, yes, there will be some changes that we need to discuss, but that happens as you do the process of budgeting. You learn stuff, you see stuff, you get new numbers, questions are asked, answers are found. But at the end of the day, the goal is to remain as flat as we can be with this budget. So as soon as we know that legal budgetable amount, then we can go from there and find out.
And actually, I don't know, technically, you don't really, you need to know, but the thing is if you're trying to meet a certain target, and I know the legal budget amount is above that, you can just say, with any excess budget, will go into the unallocated reserve. So if it changes $20,000 as I'm looking at stuff, then
And to be able to get into the financial shape that we're in at the end of the year with that little bit of a surplus over that, this council had to make a lot of decisions last year to save money that were probably unpopular with some folks, but it worked.
Well, no, you guys need to be commended for, you know, creating the situation where you did end up with a surplus.
I think our department heads.
So there's
Yeah.
11 departments that I counted that came in under budget.
Yeah.
And well, you know, and they need to be commended too, so, I mean, everybody does.
Well, and I'd say on that note, Terry, it's been, and I've said this before, a lot of discipline from one, the department heads and the employees, two, from the council and the administrative staff of the city, three, working on just finding other ways from the clerk's office to better pay things. You know, one of the things, for example, was instead of going and paying all of our property insurance in one lump sum at the beginning of the year, we broke it down into quarterly. Those were discussions had up here at the council. Those were things we looked at and found out that we could do that. And that softens that blow that keeps us out of starting the fiscal year starting the fiscal year in the hole.
Right.
And so I think as we do that, remember, we're coming off of not a positive situation, and everybody needs to be commended, treasurer, clerk, department heads, you name it, for, and even Chase, I mean, there were some of those months.
Under budget.
He was, for all that he did, he still came in under budget, and on those months that we were running tight, he modified what he did and didn't do. But at the end of the day, everybody worked hard. That wasn't an attack, so. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. Do what?
We'll see about this year.
Okay, but you're right, Terry, it was a combined effort, a combined discipline across the board, a combined discipline with the understanding from the citizens that we're trying to bail ourselves out, and that working together is what's really getting us trending in the right direction. I think that's trending for just about everything that we're seeing. So again, when we do this budget, the goal with the department heads and the offices in the city and the conversations we've all had is to keep this budget as flat as we possibly can.
And we need to stay the course
Correct.
on that.
100%, and we've been saying that all along.
Because we still have too many unknowns with the national economy,
Oh, you're right.
inflation,
there's no
tariffs, et
guarantees.
cetera. So we've got to still be cautious.
Yes.
So really, we're at the point, we're gonna try to hold what we had last year. We're gonna hope that the sales tax comes up, and we're gonna hope that the expenses don't go higher. So if everything holds, we'll make it.
Yes, and again, I think everybody from the top down has done a fabulous job maintaining, I'm just gonna keep saying, maintaining that discipline and understanding. We talk about the positions. Jeff said we're not hiring, don't bring on anything new. We've kind of unofficially adopted the concept of backfill only, right? Maintain and backfill only. So honestly, I can't think of anywhere in there where we're planning or budgeting to add positions. So, yeah, stay the course. That's our goal.
Right.
So,
I would like to comment that your city clerk's office is now running at its most accuracy than it has since I've been treasurer.
good.
Good deal.
Good.
Hey, can you share what happened the other day that you sent that email out about?
Yes,
This is awesome.
so, one of my goals as the treasurer is to reconcile all the bank accounts by this council meeting, the second council meeting of the month. And I have not been able to do that, I'll just be honest. I have not been able to do that. When I initially go through the bank statement, I pull things out that are inaccurate. I see mistakes. I see things that have not been put in. And what I've done in the past is I make a list and I send that on to the city clerk and wait. I had 4 things for the month of August, and they were minuscule things.
Good.
Those were corrected on by Friday, and Sunday night I came in and I finished reconciling the bank account for the month of August. So just our last month. I've done it for the month of August, and I was able to do it before the 15th of the month. So that was even a better goal. So kudos to the city clerk's office.
And there will always be adjustments to make. I mean, nothing will always be perfect, and that's why you reconcile the bank account, to find those little things that happen. But some accounts in the past might have had huge lots.
But we're not gonna go back into closed months and fix those. We're gonna
Right.
fix them where we're at.
Right. That's why we didn't go, yeah.
Right,
All right.
no.
So,
Awesome.
with everything we've got, are we better to hold off on what we're doing and take no action on everything tonight?
I think that's my recommendation. Let's
Okay.
hold off.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Jeff.
Yeah.
Welcome. Any other questions for me? And you always know where to find me.
Do we now?
Yes.
All right.
Can we take no action on this single one, or can we group everything in all at once and take one vote? Or do we have to do 2 votes?
I think you'll have to do 2 because you've only
Okay.
voted to discuss this one.
Okay.
So, Do you want to amend that motion to no action for X?
Who had it?
You and Bradshaw.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay. I think we can group these. Y'all, I've been waiting like 2 years to do this. Can I have a motion to take no action on Y through double N?
Motion.
Nancy.
As stated.
Second.
I have a motion as stated from Brown and a second for Shears. Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, item double O, approve street budget fund 14 for the 25-26 fiscal year.
So moved.
I have a motion from Lamar, and was that a second from Choya?
Yeah.
Okay, discussion? Given none, call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Hey, buddy, thank you for being here for that.
Go make a bunch of money on a street sweeper.
Go make a bunch on the street, well, I've been trying to do that.
Hey, I will say, not to get off in the weeds, but last week talking to our neighboring mayors, I think Langley, Salina, Shoto would all love to pay to have you come and clean their streets, just saying. Well, opportunity for revenue there, right? We're gonna,
I think only thing we're waiting on is the title, so we get tagged.
we're gonna hire
That's
out
it.
street guys to clean in Mays County.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, we'll now go to the addendum, item 2. Second, let me make sure, I'll just make sure we got everything. Addendum item 2, discussion regarding the city's purchasing policy.
Motion.
I have a motion from Brown,
Second.
second from Lamar. So we have, we've had a lot of discussion on this. You know, we had our vote a couple weeks ago, where that ordinance that we've been working on was voted out. So when it comes to the purchasing manual, we're kind of back to ground zero. In that time, there's a lot of discussion with Chase, discussion with Phyllis. I want to share some of the things. You actually have in your addendum packet some emails that I had received from Ms. Llewellyn this week. And I'll share those, and then we'll go on to Chase's opinion, if that's all right, Chase. Phyllis reached out to, most of you know that a couple years ago, last year, whatever, Trammell and Brown reached out to the state auditor's office, and they talked to, I believe you talked to Mick Dotson, correct?
Yes.
Mick Dotson is the attorney for the state auditor and the state inspector. For public purposes, I want to read the email that's here. Her question was very straightforward. She said, thanks again. I do have a question. If you could indulge me with a bit more information, that would be greatly appreciated. He had sent her a document about bidding. It says bidding, no bidding requirement legally required for municipalities' purchases. Municipal governing bodies may choose to enact bidding requirements by way of ordinances. However, it's my understanding that the Act of 74 does apply to municipalities. That's a competitive bidding act. I'm primarily getting that from the website for OML and their frequently asked questions. Could you confirm with Mickey Dotson, the author of the document you provided, that the 1974 Act does or does not apply to municipalities? Working on that. Thank you, best wishes. And again, paraphrasing some of the fluff in the, Phyllis has got quite the sense of humor sometimes. The response back was from Mick Dotson, was very short and sweet. Ms. Llewellyn, thank you for your request for clarification regarding that point. Municipalities are required to comply with the State Public Competitive Bidding Act for public construction contracts. But there are no legal requirements other than possibly municipal ordinances for municipalities to bid purchases of goods, materials, or supplies. Let me know if you have any questions, Mick Dotson. And then, of course, there's some back and forth between myself and Phyllis about that, and we sent that to Chase. Last week I talked to Christian, who is I can't ever remember his last name, Christian.
Reinhardt.
Thank you, Christian Reinhardt. He is the legal counsel for OML, and I asked him to confirm that. Is what McDodson said. He said, well, if McDodson said it, then it's absolutely true. But he came back and he did say that he was gonna put together some information for us. He hasn't got that to us. This was like Thursday last week. But he did confirm that the state, about 4 years ago, removed all requirements for municipalities in terms of purchasing those items to allow municipalities more flexibility and ease to purchasing. So more or less, the summary is, unless it's a public construction contract that falls under the Competitive Bidding Act of 1974, there's no rules on the municipalities for purchasing unless they're preset by the municipality themselves. I got a head nod over here. So, we don't want to take that and run with it to the point of, hey, we're going back to the Wild West and we can just buy whatever we want. We actually have in our ordinances, in our code, whatever you want to call it, we have that in there. And so I asked Chase for that legal opinion, and he did give it. And so I'd like to go through that real quick. If you guys want, we can read through it. If you have questions, we can skip the reading.
I'm sure everybody read it in preparation for tonight.
Yep,
I
two of them. You
It
sent
doesn't,
two out.
my only question out of it was, it doesn't define what construction is, and specifically in this instance, is this construction or not construction
Don't, what instance?
with the HVACs,
Oh,
which is,
well, so the.
We're talking about
act is
purchasing policy,
Construction,
but-
repair, improvement, or related to public works. I don't know, I can see if that's defined in.
So the response from Christian Reinhardt was that an air conditioner would be considered inventory. I think when and this is my understanding, when he talks about the public works, like Jay said, that's gonna be like street repairs, things like that, not merchandise, goods, and product. Now, I'm open to, if Chase feels differently on that,
Let me see if
please.
it's defined.
because I think that that's what this boils down to, is are we doing construction or not, are we not doing construction? And
Exactly what it boils down to.
Yeah,
To me, construction is building something, not just replacing some unit that goes out. That's not
Well,
construction.
but if I replace a roof, is that construction or not?
I can read the term,
Replace.
definition of public works from the act if you want.
Yes, please.
Sure.
The term public works for the purpose of the act means construction, alteration, repair, improvement, moving, wrecking, or demolition of any highway, road, railroad, earthwork, building, or other structure, project, development, or improvement, whether it be whole or in part. That's,
Did you say building?
Or-
Yes.
Or other structure.
Or in part.
It's in
But it didn't say,
Title 61, Section 13.
didn't say anything about an air conditioner on a building.
Of the building.
Of the
building.
building.
Really, so like a roof, yes, then.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can go into the
So
weeds
I-
on this. Is it?
Well,
air
I mean, it kind of just
conditioning
sounds like if you're changing the sticks or the bricks, then you're probably constructing, but if you're,
I think it's hard to think an air conditioner not being part of the building, but I don't know.
I mean,
Ask the
especially
contractor.
on commercial and, I mean, even residential, but especially on commercial, that stuff is engineered and it is a part of the building. And this isn't just your outdoor mini split unit. This is
I will tell you, there are no cases cited under that.
I mean, this is an integral part of
Here's where we're at with this.
the purpose of that.
This is what the conflict that we have is. Based on what we've learned, the definition of where this fits is gonna be crucial to determining really the number of times we have to post this. Because what we're gonna run into is the more that we do this, it's not just, hey, our vendors aren't gonna wanna continue to give us their pricing. We've now exposed their pricing. We've now taken an action that could cause them business damage, right? So Mike and I have talked to all of the companies that bid in, and we said, hey, more than likely, we're gonna have to not accept these bids. The other thing is, when we did this last council meeting, we only did a no action. So in order to be able to rescind the bids, we have to take a vote to rescind the bids. We can't rebid it without rescinding the bids that came in. So, that said, if we go out and rebid it, we rebid it. Going forward, what we need to recognize is that we've got to define what our own municipal rules are gonna be. As Mick said, and as Christian Reinhardt said, we've got to define that for ourselves. Right now, we've got it in our charter, 50,000 and up, that's what we're gonna do. But the idea is, going forward, we can't keep rebidding and rebidding and rebidding. Pryor will get a black eye with vendors. They will say, we're not bidding anything to Pryor because, no, they're a hazard to my business. We don't want to do that. We want to be good partners with all of the vendors that we have. We want them to support us when we need them. We want them to continue to have a need to help us out. So that's really the healthy discussion that we need to have on this, is that Chase did a great job of lining out exactly what's there. He cited everything. I think I had two questions for you. One was the definition between a bid and a quote.
Yep.
Both serve their own unique purpose.
So your ordinance is kind of odd, it's an or, so you can essentially pick if you are going to do a bidding under the 50,000, if you're going to do a bidding or solicitation. So solicitation is essentially, you guys invite people to put in their, to put in their price quote. Bidding follows the actual that we lay out in the statute. If you're under 50,000, or if you're over 50,000 and that's not within the definition of public works, you can just go to council which you want. So as a best practices, what you should do is anytime you plan on either going out for pricing, is in your motion to allow that are you telling the department head to go through the solicitation process or the bidding process? Because what we don't want is a situation we're in now where they go out, they do what they think is right, you come back and say, well, we want it the other way. So as a best practices, I think that would be the way to handle that. And you guys can choose which one you want to do.
I think one of the big questions was, I probably brought it up, was what the statute of run it twice in paper. If we just run it once, if we're legal, I'm good.
It's twice,
It is twice.
I think. Didn't I put
Okay,
that in
the
my
next
notes?
question is, where does that apply?
Right, so
Construction,
So
say
your-
re-roof of your house, is that construction or is that repair? And I don't know, I just want to be
Well-
legal on it.
So,
Here on your bidding, this is going to be my opinion, not, I can tell you exactly where this is. Pryor does not have any rules regarding publication for bidding. So what I think that does is if your ordinance references bidding as an option, you then fall back into the state statute. So in my instructions on when I say your bidding or your publication requirements, that's state statute. Where I talk about, in my opinion, your option to bid or do solicitation, that's your ordinance. But since it doesn't define how to do that, you go to the state statutes, is what my opinion is.
So Chase, again, I stress it again, twice, right? Publication in the newspaper. That's what you're saying.
I think I put that in there. didn't I?
So this last time we had this and we decided,
Reissues in the paper, and they have to be published 21 days prior to the date set opening for bids.
okay, so when we talked about this last council meeting and we took no action, was that because because they only put it in the newspaper once? And who made the decision when it didn't comply with state statute in
Well-
Chase's opinion?
What confused him was and I saw where this came from, by the way. So your handbook says at least once, which isn't directly in violation of state statute, which is twice, it's at least once.
You're talking about our purchasing handbook,
Yeah, which
okay.
is what he was acting on.
Right.
The old statute actually used to say that. That was amended. So whoever pulled that probably pulled it from a policy that actually used to read what the statute said.
Okay.
That has been updated to say now twice. But I did find actually when I was doing all of this, that's probably where that came from.
Mayor?
Yep.
The Insurance and Ordinance Committee, I know Ms. Llewellyn and Tyler Brown and Charles Trammell, I don't know who all, I know Tyler Brown specifically, was working on this ordinance, and they were working on this policy and procedure manual that we talked about. Well, obviously, we gotta kind of tweak this a little bit and redo it.
There's a lot, yeah, we got.
There's a lot to reduce. So over the weekend, and I sent all of you all this morning, I found by accident, I was trying to research a question for Councilman Smith down there, and I found the City of Oklahoma City's Purchasing Policies and Procedures Manual. It's 145 pages. I just skimmed through part of it. I emailed it to every one of you all this morning. I think it might be something, from what I saw, it was pretty good. Very thorough. It goes into extreme detail on how to do everything. It's got general policies and procedures on what the authority is of the department head and the purchasing agent, and the legal requirements from the city charter and the city council and blah, 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 and internal control standards on conflicts of interest and gifts and all that. It talks about and defines the types of purchases and how to deal with them, specifically computer equipment, construction, open market purchases, goods, things like that. It also goes into frequently asked questions that people may have and try to answer it on Purchasing 101. It's got the scope, how to award a contract. It's got formal bids. It's got the grounds for rejection. It's got the state contract, pricing agreements, etc. It's got electronic bids and proposals if you're just doing it via email. It's got open market procedures. It's got audits, internal policy audits of all this stuff. It's got everything. It's got guidelines for professional purchasing. It's got disposal of your surplus property. It's got your credit card, your city credit cards. It's got you, it tells you exactly what the responsibilities are of the department head on the purchase orders, what to do about responsibilities of the card holder, what's authorized to buy and what's not authorized to buy. I mean, it's broke down. You can buy this or you can't buy that on your city credit card. It goes into the travel policy. It goes into vehicle use. It even tells you on the vehicle use, defines who can take city vehicles home and policies for that. Very comprehensive. Goes into the petty cash reimbursements on things like that, expenditures. Expenditures of petty cash advances, scopes, disciplinary action. It's very thorough. And I think that maybe it's worth looking into to look at this document and see if we want to tweak that and use it and take things out or add things or change things. I mean, it's 145 pages, but it is it even has like what I call cheat sheets at the end, like an attachment. Like your department heads could print off that little color-coded thing and have it at your desk on your desk, and it tells you, oh yeah, I've got to do this or that if I'm doing it. It even has all the forms that you have in it that you use for your purchasing and bidding. Anyway, I think it's a very good product, and I think it's something that maybe we should look into as a possibility.
Go ahead.
I've actually looked at that before, when they were doing their policy handbook. I actually pulled that to kind of look through it. Here's what I caution about that. One good thing about being a small community versus a metropolis is you can do things a lot faster here than Oklahoma City. So they're very thorough in that. The other thing I guess it's a policy is what they do.
It is.
So what they've essentially done is what Tyler was suggesting from the start. We make an ordinance that says follow this policy that covers all of this. Pryor's ordinances, if you look at that entire policy, are not all together compared to that. And that's just the way they were written differently, right? So where our bidding section is, that might not be where our who can use vehicles are at. But we already do have some of that in there. And so what I caution when we look at other cities is use those as an example and ideas to come up with so that we can put them into our own. But where we can really get jumbled up is if we take one of those and like copy and paste it essentially.
Right.
So I caution, not to say we can do that exact thing. We will do it slightly differently, I guess, because where Oklahoma City, the way they have it written is they have one thing that says, hey, look to this policy. That policy covers all this. Pryor has different areas that cover that entire policy. And so we want to make sure we're not overlapping, is what I'm saying.
So I want to be very clear, and Tyler, you jump in and correct me anytime, because we've talked a lot about this. And again, we keep bringing up Phyllis. I know she's been tremendous. She's put a lot of time and effort in, a lot of phone calls. And again, I know we're broken record, and I'll probably get a text telling me to stop when we're done. But she's put a lot of time in. She has reviewed these. A lot of when we put together the manual the first time was a collaboration of like Muskogee and other communities. Is that correct?
Yep.
And so I get a lot of responses from her saying things like, well, Oklahoma City's policy, parentheses, and she'll say something like, I think they know what they're doing. Oklahoma City's policy only requires one posting, right? So again, that goes back, for me personally, that goes back to not to counter anything Chase has said or what we've told, but when we're told that those municipal regulations have been relieved by the state, that the problem and the confusion we have is based on our own structure. We've created our own trying to do, and then as we're trying to adopt this new manual, we're trying to incorporate what we have that is successful and works, but we're also trying to create a nuance with some of these things that we need to get on board with. There will be growing pains. There will be a lot of growing pains. Oklahoma City did not come up with and you know this, I'm not taking an attack. They didn't come up with a 145-page document with one attorney and 6 months. I'm sure they have a whole building full of people that focus strictly on procurement, and this has been decades in the making, and here it is, and we're going. That said, there's been many a times where other communities, even that Chase has come to us and said, hey, we don't have a policy on code. Can we use? And we're like, you got the same attorney, do it, copy, paste. I think that's been a lot of times where like, yeah, copy and paste ours, take out Pryor, add Salina, take out Pryor, add Langley, whatever you want to do, we'll share those. And those are resources that mayors and city managers love to do with each other. It works great. But again, like Chase said, when you look at the size of the community, we are 10,000 and Bluegrass Festival against hosting the Olympics and NFL champions. The sizing, the purchasing, the things are different. So I agree, we need to look at those, we need to take the best, but we really need to do what's best for us, given that the state's given us that flexibility to set our own rules.
And I think, going back to the small versus huge, is they have manpower to make sure those are being followed. You don't.
They probably have a whole purchasing department of floor people.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying too, that this might be a good,
Absolutely.
something to look at and see if there's pieces of this that we want to incorporate.
One of the other things that Phyllis brought to our attention is there are third-party procurement companies, meaning that's what they do. We give them what we want, they go get it, bid it, open it, tell us, and they bring back to the council and say, here's what you need to accept. Here's your options.
Are they good with knowing if the companies that we're dealing with are credible?
That's what they do, yeah. And this is,
Okay.
the one she brought was an Oklahoma-based company. There's a lot of municipalities that'll do third-party procurement.
Well, I think those third parties will, well, it's similar to what our engineer does, it's essentially that. But they won't select, so they'll come to you with the bids, they'll just make a recommendation. So you can still determine best lowest bidder.
I'll say part of our problem is that I think Pryor along the years said, well, we've got an issue here, and they codified it. And then we got an issue here, and they codified it. And it's all over our book. And whatever we do at some point, that has to be cleaned up. And it's hard to implement a policy when everything's jumbled up over here or over here. I mean, which is why I suggested to Chase, why don't we just take all those out and say one that just follows the policy? And I don't think there was a policy for forever, and they just codified the crap out of everything.
Yeah. I think you're 100% right. That's what
And
we're
it's,
seeing is.
I mean, we're bound to follow it now because it's codified, which I don't have an issue with that. It's just, it wasn't, the cart got ahead of the horse, I think, on a lot of that.
Decades in the making.
What I think, are you guys aware of any other policies other than your employment discipline, your employee guide? Like, that's the only one I'm aware of prior to that.
I mean, if there's interdepartmental policies, I think, but.
Interdepartmental maybe, but for the city as a whole, that's the only policy I'm aware you guys actually have.
We're getting ready to start working on a wellness one.
Yeah.
Which I will tell, I almost said this earlier, it's, if that's the same one the Salina has, the whole introduction that they have in their proposed deal talks about statistics of overweight and everything, it's like, it's really.
No, ours does not. The one, the
Makes me
draft that I
feel
have,
really bad.
the draft I have does not.
It does, okay.
It's actually pretty clean, so.
So at the end of this discussion, we've got two issues, right? I think we have one, we need to come up with a policy, a new policy. But we also have to go by what Chase's opinion was, that right now, when we do bid something, it's got to be published twice. That's the issue that came up, that we caused all this.
Yes, I think yes. I think also we need to recognize, and I wanna bring up, our mower situation. A lot of discussion has been about that. We've got some mowers that we need to get. The council requested sealed bids on that for something that's not gonna exceed 20,000. That's kind of created a little bit of a headache for the bidders, for how do we do it? If we didn't spec something out on the gas for this, the mower, the deck, the stamp, the wheels, whatever it is, we run the risk of having done that wrong. I think one of the things we need to remember is we hire these department heads and we give them the autonomy to run their departments. If we've got, a department that needs a mower and they've followed the guidelines, they went out, they got competitive pricing or state contract pricing, and they've got the funds for it, then I feel like something, especially under 20,000, if they've got those quotes and those quotes meet the requirements that we've set forth, we need to let them go ahead and do that, or at least vote on it without going to sealed bids for everything. The precedence that sets is that we're gonna seal bid ourselves out of being able to function, and that's gonna be a problem.
Can I make a recommendation from this is a practical interpretation of what I think your options are. If you have something in between $2,500 and $50,000, or anything over $50,000 that is not a public work construction within that definition, why not every time somebody comes and says, hey, can I go do this, you approve of them to do solicitations, but you also post it. That way you're accepting it correctly under your ordinances as a solicitation, but you are still putting it out there. But that way if something goes south with timing under the actual bidding requirements, you don't actually have to follow those.
So in plain English, is that saying don't get a sealed bid, it's just a solicitation for a quote?
From a practicality, yes. That being said, you guys are the ones. This is not as much legal advice as it is a practical way to do this. This should be considered. If you guys want sealed bids, that's entirely your call.
My only thought was just to keep everybody honest and straight. If you seal a bid, there's not much question. If you quote, it could very well be the last quote we get best price, because it can happen. I'm not saying it would, it has, or it might, but it sure could happen. That just removes the good old boy system and making it straightforward.
To counter that, though, wouldn't that get the city the best price? To counter that, wouldn't that always get the city the best price, though?
Well, that could or might not.
So best practice, and I say that term very loosely, best practice has been when you go out and you get these quotes. So let's talk about, for example, these mowers, right? We brought in some quotes from Kubota, right? That was the discussion. Since we may have talked to TNG, and I know last week I talked to Grasshopper and said, what do you have? Are you competitive? Do you do state pricing? I would say best practices would be, we get all three of those, and those would be presented to the council to look at, just like we would anything else with, I think, Tyler used the example, handguns, right? If department head wants this or that, they bring us the pricing, the quotes, we look at that, that's what we need to allow, is the.
Well, and I still think on quotes, you still don't have to go with the lowest one.
Right.
It's the same thing as bidding, it's the best lowest.
Well, that brings up another point, because if you say you should go with the lowest one, there have been a lot of quotes or bids on air conditioners or other things that we are recommended from the department heads or the board, we want to go with the highest one because they have done a good job for us and they know our system. So that's not necessarily the lowest,
We think it's the best list,
Right.
the best one.
and I did an opinion on that.
We've been with the
very
lowest
early
one.
on as city attorney, I can send out again, on what elements you need to consider and what those are.
We've been with the lowest one out east of town, haven't we?
I think that's actually why I wrote that.
Good job.
We went with,
So I would also recommend that we start this ordinance process back up again and send that back to O&I.
yeah, so what my opinion is on that is what you currently have. If you don't like that, entirely your call, but if you don't like that, what I would recommend is we do what Tyler had started. Come up with a policy, then pass an ordinance that says we adopt that policy. If, whatever you guys want in the policy, we can put that, we can use Oklahoma City as an example. But I do think that is the easiest thing going forward. And it makes it much easier as the city goes forward. If you need to change, edit, or random things come up, you can easily change a policy compared to an ordinance
With the resolution.
with a resolution.
Yeah.
Chase, does your mic work? I'm getting messages.
Nina's here,
I'm getting messages I'm getting messages from people that are involved in this that are saying they cannot hear a word you're saying.
So,
It's,
I didn't move it, just so you know,
Chase,
last
It's
meeting,
Phyllis.
is it?
Yes.
Nina, because I used to have it back
You got
there,
the
and
text.
Nina said it right here last meeting at the end of it, and I didn't move it specifically because she did that, and it's still not working, so.
Mr. Backwater has come in and he's working on that for us
I
right
don't know how I can get much closer to it.
I get the same complaint on this here as do yours.
Really?
Statute says
And
lowest,
down there works real fine.
statute says lowest responsible bidder, by the way.
Right,
I'm saying
Right.
best, but yeah.
Yeah,
same wording, yeah.
but to Bruce's point, maybe not on a lawnmower, but on other big jobs that we're bidding, if he's a builder and I'm a builder and Zach's a builder and I say, all right, boys, we're gonna bid this. We can get together and raise the price on it too, just as much as somebody could come in and lower it. I mean,
I think the
I'm not saying that everything has to be sealed bids, but you can run it up or you can run it down.
Yeah,
just
there's pros and
easily.
cons. The affidavit they sign should, I mean, in theory, cover that, and that makes it a crime, but you're
You have to prove it
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
end of
And
the day.
especially if they've got state contract pricing with all the documentation for that, that's
You know, state
Yeah.
contract, I think
Trackable.
that covers us completely, but a lot of things are not, we're talking.
correct.
You know,
You're right.
state contract, there's no argument about that.
Right.
My question is this, can you defend if we go out and we take a bidder that is not the lowest bidder? And the low bidder says, well, I'm gonna sue you, can you defend the fact that, oh, he's a good old boy, oh, Joe Blow likes him, oh, he's been at the building before, will
Yes.
that defend you? the
Yes.
lawsuit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say Joe Blow likes it, I'm not gonna word it like that. but
Yeah,
Those are,
I'm talking about.
those are exact elements that, in fact, I can probably find that opinion. Those are exact elements, is one of them is knowledge and experience. There's also a deference to local versus non-local because it helps the local community. I can send that list, but there's a couple cases that specifically list things that should be looked at when considering lowest responsible.
Well, I think that
And
we
some
need
of,
to
some
know,
of those are actually them.
department heads sure need to know. You know, we've jacked the rec center around 2 or 3 times over this same argument. And they're not gonna need their district for long, need the heaters, we don't get some.
I can probably pull that pretty quick. Price, prior issues with bidder, time to complete, material quality used, qualifications, experience, warranty work, reputation. Those are the main elements. But that's not an exclusive list. That's just what the court's
That
doing.
would let you take a higher bidder over a lower bidder. Now, I know if you had a lower bidder, and it just like Troy was talking about out east of town, we got experience with him, we know we're not gonna go to that, we've got a reason for it.
There's also,
Somebody else may not have.
I didn't put a citation in my opinion when I wrote it, so I don't know if this is case or statute, but think it's statute if I recall. If it's a local bidder, we can take the second lowest bid price if it's not more than 5% higher than the lowest, if they're the exact same things, which promotes local.
Our issue with that is though, we probably didn't put out a,
Proper RFP.
well, that, but I mean, to put down exactly what we wanted and what the standards had to be, like he said, it had to be stainless steel because of the water and everything inside there, rusting the copper and, or not rusting, but deteriorating the copper and things like that. So we probably need to write a more specific, description of what we want it to be there, instead of just, we need an air conditioner this many tons.
It would be an RFQ if we know specifically what we want, it'd be an RFP if we want them to tell us what we want.
Right.
Okay.
We tell them, RFP is like, hey, I need an air conditioner, it's gonna do this.
I think that's
And an
where
RFQ
the
says,
request
I
for-
want this specific.
This air conditioner, that's probably what we needed to do at that rec center.
So I guess the $1 million question, Chase, and let's just get to it, is we know that we have the flexibility on certain items. The council has the flexibility to waive some of these rules so that we can do things in the best interest or an emergency purchase.
Yes.
Does the air conditioner qualify for us to be able to waive and get it done so that we don't do any further damage to vendors, bidders, or the rec?
Is it over 50,000?
64.
I don't think you can waive it.
So, since we can't waive it, we have to put it back out. That means we're gonna have to go to item number 3, and we will actually have to rescind all of those bids for that, and then put it back out for double
For
publication.
clarification, because I hadn't talked about it, but it is in the opinion. You can, I think you can waive anything under $50,000 or anything over 50,000 that is not a construction public work.
But
For
do,
best interest.
but do we have the working definition that the state says is considered construction? Because there's a difference between replacing a few bricks and replacing an entire wall.
Yeah. Construction, alteration, repair, improvement, moving, wrecking, or demolition of any highway, road, railroad, earthwork, building, or other structure, project, development, or improvement, whether it be in whole or in part.
61-103.
Because, and this AC is affixed to the building and is an integral part of its operation. So,
61-103C says, public improvements or constructing any public building or making repairs to the same.
Same definition.
Yeah, which, I mean, we're making repairs to the same building, right?
or it's an improvement.
I'm not the, I think that would be a better question for the engineer than the lawyer. I can tell you what the law says, what facts I have to present to the court.
It's kind of like one of those areas where you could like schematically argue
Well,
a point, right?
In the,
Very gray.
Yes.
err on the side of caution and just do it the most
Just do it.
arduous way and be done.
Erring on the side of caution versus being aggressive would be your call. I am merely the advisor on the law, not the one that pulls the trigger.
Are we required to put it in a state trade publication or?
Not if it's under 100.
Not under 100.
Okay, I thought it was like 200.
It's 100.
So until we.
No, I thought the HVAC was, I thought the HVAC was like 200.
No, this one's 64,000.
Okay.
We're gonna go, and I assume, and we're gonna go with what the law says, you gotta run it twice, but think in between time we change it, and if we do another one, make sure everybody knows.
Well, I think that's where this is a healthy discussion that will define that for not just the council, but the department heads that we now know. And I thank Chase for spending his weekend doing Pryor.
I'm sure he didn't do it on his own.
I did this one.
This
Did-
one he
you did? Okay, cool.
This one he did.
Admirable.
Take it back,
And the social media one.
take it back.
Yeah, so
Bless your
I
heart.
think what we're looking at right now, in the essence of time, let's just kind of move the conversation along. These HVACs have to be rebid. We have to put it in for two cycles, and we need to just redo the process. So everything was done correctly on the last one, except we did not do the 2-week publication.
That's right.
So
Does he have to wait, or can he,
No.
after this meeting, go ahead and
We
get
have-
the ball rolling?
he can get the ball rolling, but we have to move on to item 3 where
Well,
we
then, once we
actually.
do that, can
Correct.
he get the ball rolling
Yes.
and not have to wait till our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I know we have to rescind, that's a given. But technicality-wise, the wording on this agenda, though, we may rescind that, but it doesn't say anything about seeking new bids, right?
Well,
That's what I was saying, yeah.
we can get to that one in a minute.
That's what I was asking.
So, I'm pretty sure we can make the motion to rescind and send him for new.
I think so. I also don't know that you actually have to make a motion to go out for bidding, in all honesty, just to accept the bids.
Great, okay.
I would recommend doing that every time, so everyone's on the same page, but
So,
I don't think that's actually a requirement.
Well, I'll make the motion then that we, if we're on item 3, I'll make the motion that we rescind all bids placed for the rec center HVAC replacement of RTU 10.
I'll second it.
okay, item 3, we have a motion from Brashears and a second from Lamar.
I have one more question about it. Is there something about a 21-day waiting period or something before?
Yeah, that was it has to be published the 2 consecutive and then at least 21 days prior to the date of the second bid.
So
I'm sorry, first bid. So 2 consecutive weekly issues of the newspaper with the first publication being at least 21 days prior to the date set for opening.
And that's in ours, not the state.
That is the state. But yours says bidding, so since it doesn't give procedure, I think you adopt the state automatically.
So whenever we're setting this bidding for, basically, has to be at least 21 days from after the first publication.
Before you can
Or when they're
open
open.
bids.
Okay.
Before you can open the bids, right?
Correct.
Right.
I just want to make sure we don't screw that part up. 'Cause
So would Mike need to get that to the paper, what's the date?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Terry, would that be tomorrow? He need to have it to you by tomorrow if Mike was wanting it in next week's.
And then
It's out on the 22nd, if my math is right, October 12th,
21 days from then.
but I wouldn't rely on my math.
Are you saying
It's close though.
I'm making it the 23rd just in case.
open on the 23rd, right?
Well, since you've already had this in the paper multiple times, don't you already have the template for it, and all we gotta do is change the dates real quick?
Get a deal on
I'll have Mike
Okay.
submit a new one. Mike, submit a new one. Get it ready tonight. I know you're watching. So, okay, so Terry, we'll get that to you. We'll run it 2 weeks. So,
We didn't, I had a question about item 2, and we haven't really moved on, and I guess somebody can call a point of order on me, I'm gonna say it anyway. We probably need to move forward with some kind of a plan to get a purchasing policy in place, whatever that is, and I don't know what that looks like.
that was kind of my discussion on 2 was we need to kick it back to O&I and get that ball started again.
Who is the new chair of the O&I
We
committee?
haven't got that yet.
What I would do is take the current one drafted back to O&I and see if they want to change anything.
Okay.
Probably change the publication at least from once to twice.
Okay.
You don't have to do that though, however, under 50,000 rate non-construction project, you don't have to. But if you want it to reflect the state, I think it needs to be twice.
But it probably does need to be written, so there's no confusion.
I would definitely take it from a at least and put a number. That way there's
Yep.
whatever you do.
Because there was clearly confusion with the HVAC.
Okay. I'll get with Mike and we'll get that done. We'll send that back to O&I. We'll just put it on the next O&I agenda. Are you good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. All right, no further discussion on item 3. Go ahead and call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Shears,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Okay. Yikes, good golly. Item 6, committee reports, budget personnel.
14th of October.
Okay. Ordinance and insurance.
Sounds like September 30th now. I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be discussed, but
We can definitely
put that on
It's
there.
probably been piling up.
Street,
The 23rd of September, next Tuesday.
also, Terry, I'm gonna say this very loosely, since you're street and we're gone there. The South Elliott project should start within 9 days of today. So that's their start time.
9 calendar days
So it
or,
was 10 of yesterday, so I'm saying 9 from today. They've
Okay.
got 10 calendar days to start. They're gonna try to work when school hours are minimal traffic, and they are gonna work on weekends to try to avoid some of the
did
issues.
they give an estimate of how long it will take to complete the project?
He said a couple weeks, but they got 60 days, so.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're traveling down South Elliott, Terry, in the next couple weeks, be cautious. They will be working.
Good.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that.
That was,
Okay,
thank you.
moving on.
Item 7, unforeseeable, I have none.
Yes, I do.
You do, what do you got?
I just want to say that I want to commend this group for our very good, healthy discussion tonight on the issue of the purchasing manual and of the
Budget?
the budget. It was a good discussion, and I think we're moving forward.
Yes, I have to agree, I concur. All right, item 8, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion from, for Shears, was that Bruce or you? Tyler, from Tyler? Call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay. We will call to order the Pryor Public Works. Item 2, approve the minutes of the September 2nd, 2025 meeting.
Motion.
Got a motion from Joy and a second from Shears. When you're caught up, Hannah, you can call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
You need to
Smith?
abstain.
Yes.
No, no.
Lamar,
Yes?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Approve claims for purchase orders for the Pryor Public Works Authority through September 16th, 2025.
Motion.
Motion from Shears,
I'll second again.
second from Joya. Call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion from Shears. Did you have the second?
I'll second it.
Joya?
Yep. I hate to leave, but yeah, I'll second it.
Lamar,
Yes?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Don't you hate to leave?
Thank you.